I'm Doug McKelway in Washington. Here are some of the stories we are following today. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are spending their Labor Day campaigning in Ohio. Trump says he plans to take part in all three presidential debates against rival Hillary Clinton. Meanwhile, Clinton is finally allowing reporters to travel with her on her official campaign plane. The U.S. is condemning North Korea's firing of 3 medium-range missiles into the Sea of Japan. That incident is an apparent show of force, timed to coincide with the Group of 20 economic summit in China. President Obama wraps up his stay in China with what he called a candid, blunt, and businesslike meeting with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. The two sides have not been able to come up with a plan to end the civil war in Syria. President Obama cites what he terms gaps of trust between the rival powers. We'll see you on Special Report at 6 Eastern. Now back to your world.
Two months to the presidential election, and Iran not letting up. It's boats harassing one of our warships. It's bringing in Russian-made missiles to protect its nuclear facility. Now this, Iran releasing a video showing a tidal wave destroying U.S. ships with the American flag burning in the water. Just as this, we're learning that Iran was reportedly given exemptions by the Obama administration and others after the nuke deal was done. Now the State Department is pushing back on that report. Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer says it is time to rip up that Iran deal. Tony, where do we even begin in terms of the $400 million ransom payment, the additional $1.3 billion that was paid out to Iran in the days after that ransom payment? We are on our knees in front of a country that hates us.
Right. Well, that's the issue right there. I mean, continuing to demonstrate weakness will only embolden them and continue to see their expansion of aggressive nature. And I watched the State Department interview, statement on this the other day. They talked about they could not use the word aggression. The Iranians are being aggressive. And as you said, I would see the whole deal torn up. I would see the Navy, if I were the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, I would order the Navy to do very severe things, which means shoot the boats if they come within 150 meters. We saw what happened with the USS Cole with boats coming close in. So the bottom line is this. We have to push back. If you don't push back, you'll continue to see this. And frankly, the State Department's a co-conspirator here. I believe that secret deal is completely true despite the denials. We've effectively been at war with Iran in multiple forms since the taking of the Iranian, the hostage crisis when the Ayatollah came back in the late 70s. They manufactured IEDs to kill our troops in Iraq. They are bad actors. They're not going to get any better unless we do something to push back and push back hard.
But the money is already flowing to Iran. I don't understand how you would reverse that. They're testing ballistic missiles, and the UN says, well, that's not consistent with the spirit of the deal. We've allowed Boeing to ink a deal worth almost $18 billion to sell planes to Iran. And the money is certainly flowing in from Europe, which the Secretary of State John Kerry himself has encouraged.
There's two things we can do. You're right. The horse is out of the barn. It's gone. But we can do things to mitigate their ability to use that money. I can't get into all the specifics, but there's cyber things you can do. There's special operations things you can do. You can make them pay a price for everything they do that's out of whack. The problem is this White House does not have the political will to use the resources, clandestine, cyber, otherwise, that we have. We could make life very miserable for the Iranians, even now. They're trying to underwrite the North Korean program. They're helping the North Koreans develop both ballistic missile technology as well as fissile material for advanced weapons. We can interfere with that. But again, unless the White House directs this to happen, we're going to continue to see the Iranians do what they're doing, and it's going to get worse.
We paid a $400 million ransom for those hostages.
Right.
And now what's happening? The former leader Ahmadinejad is telling President Obama, hey, you've got $2 billion of Iranian money that's in New York banks that's supposed to go to the victims of Iranian-sponsored terrorism. They want that back. By the end of this President Obama's term, don't you think that Iran's going to come back and say, hey, we've got more of your hostages. Why not that $2 billion that's sitting in New York City?
They've already taken, from my count, 3 other hostages, which they're trying to hold right now, U.S. citizens, which they're holding for that very purpose. Whatever you subsidize, you're going to get more of. So we paid that $400 million for the hostages. The Iranians saw it work. They're going to do it again, and they're going to expand it. So this is the bottom line. Until there's a change of leadership at the White House, we're not going to see this change. And that's the only way we're going to see a change. We have to maintain that $2 billion. We got to do other things to get the money back as best we can, even if it can't be in cash. We're going to do something. But we cannot allow this to continue, or else we will see the Iranians continue to expand both their influence in the region and the bad acts against us and the American citizens who travel abroad.
Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. Tony, great to see you.
Great. Thank you. Good seeing you.
Take care.